Okay. I'm still echoing. Can you hear me now? I'm not hearing me. Y'all still can't hear me? Testing. Testing, testing. Am I echoing, Matthew? I try to turn it back up. Is that better? Oh, good. Okay. Have have we got it going? Maybe. Oh, low volume. I don't. It's all the way up. That's all I know to do. Yes, better. Hey, Fletcher. Okay, good. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you very much for helping me. Okay. I'm going to kind of start over here, y'all, because I deleted the other live feed, okay? I know some of y'all do not. I know you're not from Tennessee, and you may not know about the Holly Bobo case, but it is a huge, huge, huge case. Not just in Tennessee. Um, I mean, it was a countrywide, really a worldwide story. But these four boys, y'all, that were meth heads, morphine addicted boys, is what I call them. Okay, I think I did, Matthew. I turned my phone down because I noticed that too. Thank you. Okay, let me know if something's not going right. Okay. But these boys, y'all, supposedly she was getting ready to go to school. She was in nursing school and she was going to take a test that morning. She still lived at home, and it was just her and her brother at home. And the brother had just woke up. And y'all, if you go back and watch the trial, and I'm not going to go back through the whole story, he was half asleep. He was very confused. He was only getting pieces of information from his mother. Like, mom had figured out what was going on her end, but she had talked to more people than he had. And I guess she felt the need to hurry up and call 911. So instead of taking the time to explain to the brother that's not her boyfriend, who's just taking her out into the woods, because he's confused. Like, he's thinking it's her boyfriend. I mean, he's not dragging her, she's walking, you know? And so, but he's only getting bits and pieces. And if you watch the first day of the trial, you will see there's kind of like mass confusion. And he's just woken up, he's half asleep. He is confused at these bits and pieces of information that he's getting. Matthew says he doesn't hear me. Yeah, I don't hear it now. Okay, good. And so, it's just confusion. Okay, it's just mass confusion, and so many people cannot understand why didn't Clint go out there? Why didn't he do something? Like I'm even like that. Why didn't he just stick his head out the door and say, "Hey, Holly, I thought you're going to school. Why are you walking in the woods? You know, what are you doing?" Um, but he didn't. And y'all, he can't go back. And if he could, he would. You know, we can all say what we would have done, but we weren't there. It doesn't make sense to anybody. It might not even make sense to him. But anyway, y'all, the basics of this trial is they took her. She was presumably raped by Dylan Adams, Zachary Adams, and Shane Austin. Shane Austin has since committed suicide. Jason Autry come in later in the day. He went over to get him some morphine from Zach. And Zach says, "Yeah, man, I got some morphine, but I'm going to need your help while you're over here." Well, Jason's just thinking, okay, he needs help cooking some meth. Something's gone wrong. And so he gets over there and there's a body in Zach's truck. And he thought it was this guy that owed Zach some money for drugs. And Zach's like, "No, man, that's not him. That's Holly Bobo." Of course, Jason Autry's like, "Who's Holly Bobo?" It's nobody to him. He doesn't care. He just wants to get high. So he's like, "Sure, I'll help you, but no, I got to be back by lunch to eat lunch with my girlfriend." Okay. So, and this might be better if I turn myself around to the light for y'all, because it's kind of getting dark out here. I don't want it to be like too grainy. I probably should have set up my little spotlight. Okay. So, he says, "Yeah, I'll go help you dump this body." Because he's thinking that she's already dead, right? Well, they get there, and they went up to the I-40 bridge, and they're going to gut her. They're going to gut her because if you gut somebody, Jason says, they won't float. But before they did that, he noticed she moved her foot, and she made a gasping noise. We don't know how she was supposedly dead before this. Like, we know they shot her up with morphine, so we don't know if they thought she was overdosed with morphine, or if we know she had been cut, because there was quite a bit of her blood in the carport where they took her. Or if they cut her more later, like, we don't know. They haven't said. So, and they haven't said because Jason wasn't there before she was supposedly dead. So, Jason's like, "Hey, man, this girl, she's not dead." So Zachary goes to get a gun, supposedly. And Jason's like, wait a minute. And he says, "I need to go look and make sure nobody's coming down this road." Y'all, he said that. Like, not, wait a minute. Like, don't kill her. Like, we can save her. No. Let me make sure nobody's going to catch us. And that's what he does. While he's down looking to see if anybody's coming, a gun goes off. And, of course, supposedly Zach shot Holly, and she was shot in the back of the head. They showed her skull and all the body bones they found of her. I think they found a shoulder blade, her lower jaw, which was detached from her skull. And they actually showed this in court, y'all. I mean, pictures of it. Her skull, where the bullet went through, where the bullet came out. They found 7 ribs, I believe. It was later told she was cut up. I mean, y'all, this story, sitting and listening, is really unbelievable. And the prosecution, the state, of course, a lot of people that they're calling are convicts because they were in jail with him or they had ties to him. I mean, this was a great big group of major drugs, y'all. Like, I'm not talking smoking a little pot. I'm talking meth, morphine, pills, you name it, okay? So, basically, Jason is getting some sort of federal immunity because where they shot her was federal property. So the feds said, okay, if you testify, we'll give you federal immunity. Doesn't immune him from the state. So we don't really know what Jason will get. Will he get his own trial? Or will he just get a plea bargain? You know, I mean, he supposedly was not there for the kidnapping and the rape. And he actually stated that he told Zachary, you know, he didn't agree with that. And they kind of got in a little bit of a heated debate over that because this little gang they're in, I compare it to the white supremacies, but it's not called white supremacy. It's similar, though. They have a rule not to rape white women. Because they have rules. And, but they also have rules not to testify against each other. But, you know, when it comes down to it, and it's you and your life on the line, those rules are thrown out the door. They have had many people corroborate Jason Autry's story, okay? It all lines up. The cell phone pings of hers, it lines up with his story, where they went, what they did. Pretty much the only thing the defense has done, they have not given an alibi for Zachary that morning. I mean, you can't argue with cell phone records, y'all. You can't, you know. I agree, Matthew. Some good old Tennessee boys would take care of him. But you know what happened? I'll tell y'all if y'all don't know this. The night Zachary was arrested, and I don't know if I can't remember if they arrested all of them the same night or separately. But the night he got arrested in 2014, when they finally pressed charges and got enough to arrest them, some of the local men there, and I believe one of them was Holly's uncle. I heard he could be real mean. He's not a mean man, but, you know, he can be if he needs to be. They actually all tried to get arrested that night on purpose so they could get in the jail cell with this boy. They moved him then, like the deputies were even getting threats. If you don't let me in there with them, you know, I'm going to kill you. So then they moved him down to the next county. Same thing. So they finally had to move him to Nashville for a higher security facility where he had to be kept in solitary because he almost got beat to death while he was in population. And of course, they wanted to keep him alive. The security around the courthouse is unbelievable. I was there last Monday on the first day of the trial. We weren't even allowed to take cell phones in. Like, I literally had to leave my cell phone in the car. That judge does not play. I had to go through security like I did at an airport. My purse had to go through the little camera. I had to go through the metal detector, the whole 9 yards. They were afraid somebody's going to try to kill him. And, no, GPS doesn't lie. The thing is, they actually pinged Holly's phone. They pinged it on purpose, which is more accurate than trying to go back. Now, in 2011, it wasn't as updated as it is now. Now they can say, you are at 225 Johnson Road, you know, at this time. Back then, they explained how the cell phones work, how they have sectors, and there's like 3 to 4 sectors in each one, and they equal 360 degrees. Each sector is like, I think, 120 degrees. And that really made a lot of sense that that expert explained how it worked. He was very knowledgeable, and it's actually interesting to know how cell phone towers worked. And so you can actually see her path going north. It matches Jason Autry's story to a T. It shows Zachary's phone and Jason's phone at that place at the Tennessee River where they were going to gut her and dump her body. But they heard a boat and got scared that somebody had heard the gun go off. So they put her back in the truck. Well, Jason's like, I got to go, man. I got to go. Like, you got to drop me back off because I'm supposed to be somewhere. And so he didn't actually help Zachary go get rid of the body after that. So, the only thing that the the defense has really done, honestly, is try to blame it on this one sex offender that they really thought did it. And y'all, I can see, like, by listening to his testimony, he has got a scary past. He looks scary, okay? But I don't believe he was lying on the stand. I think he told the truth, and I think he's the kind of man that doesn't care, and he would tell the truth. He really had nothing to lose, anyway. They really have just tried to really point the finger at him. To me, that is really, instead of trying to show where Zachary was, what he was doing, what his alibi was, like, we haven't really heard that. We're just hearing the finger pointed at somebody else. And they're also trying to say he wasn't in that white truck. That white truck was parked at somebody else's house. But the man that they ask, his granddaddy, he's older, and you can tell his memory is pretty bad. And he got the year that his wife died wrong today. And so it really shows. And of course, he was there for his grandson. He's going to take his grandson's side. I mean, he said if he did it, he wanted him to be held accountable. But on the same note, it is his grandson. So he's, and he even told investigators earlier that he wouldn't be surprised if his grandson did that. What does that say, y'all? So basically, my take, just my opinion. And I know I'm probably biased, okay? But the prosecution, the state, has done a great job considering they have no DNA. And they have had so many people back up Jason Autry's story. People that didn't even know Jason. It's not like they talked to each other. And the cell phone records back all of that up. Eyewitnesses. People Zachary threatened. Cellmates he told things to that actually were very credible. I'm going to tell you the first person I noticed that I really thought was lying. And y'all, I'm pretty good at detecting a liar, okay? And I'll tell you why. My own brother has been in and out of prison since he was 18 years old, and he is 45, okay? He is a pathological liar. I don't say it lightly. It is the truth. Now, my mama will believe anything he says. I can tell in a heartbeat when he's lying, and he knows I can. I'm not saying that makes me like, some special powers or anything. I'm just saying I've been around a lot of prisoners, visiting him and just being around him, even growing up. And y'all, they can be really convincing. But on the other hand, you can tell when they're lying. I mean, you can tell. And so, do I think Jason left out some details? Yeah, probably. But for the most part, do I think he told the truth? What happened for the most part? I do. Because actually, if you think about it, the more he tells, actually it is for the better for him. Because anything he says in court cannot be used against him for his trial. So if he leaves anything out and they come back and say, oh, well, you didn't say that you are here, now we can use that. So he is absolutely going to tell everything he can remember and knows, so they can't come back and use it when it's time to sentence him. So if he were smart, he would say every single thing that he knows. Or, I mean, I would. Anyway, But really the only thing that Zachary's lawyers, which, by the way, his lawyer, y'all, I struggle to watch her and listen to her. She is so repetitive. She has so many questions. They're irrelevant. They go nowhere. They never make a point. I'm like, is she just trying to confuse the jury? Because, like, she will seriously re-ask every question the prosecution's already asked that witness. And she will go into such fine detail and waste so much time. I'm like, really? And she objects and she objects, but then she wants to be able to ask the questions she objects to. I mean, y'all, I hadn't been to law school. I was in a law club in college because I had considered going to law school. I do not consider myself a lawyer in any form or fashion, but I do like it. I do like to watch it. I'm a little bit aware of the rules, but I don't know how this lady ever passed the bar. I don't know how she didn't get kicked out of a courtroom years ago. Okay, so it's I don't know, Matthew. My husband said that I could have convicted him already. Because I'm sitting there. I'm yelling at the computer screen all day while they're in court. We've already asked that. Why are we asking that again? Or she tries to contradict something, and I'm like, no, that fella testified to that. He told the truth. He didn't lie about that. I mean, it's like she can't keep up with the testimony. I'm not even a lawyer, and I can keep up with it. Like, I remember what so and so said. He didn't lie. He did it. And it's, y'all, she has literally had witnesses correct her while they're on the stand being questioned. Jason Autry told her what maps she needed to give him on certain questions. Like, she would give him the wrong maps. And he'd say, well, you're missing, like several sections here. I'm going to need the one that has this road and this road and this road. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? She has even had to use part of the prosecution's exhibits for herself. And they gave her everything they had. And she's still like borrowing their stuff. And I'm like, she is the most unprepared lawyer I have ever watched. And I understand there is thousands and thousands of pieces of paper that goes with this trial. But you know what I think? I am not watching the prosecution over there fumbling through papers, asking for 15 minutes or an hour to prepare. I'm not watching them scramble all over the place. They are sitting there. They are prepared. They have it together. She's like a chicken with her head cut off, literally. And I just, I'm just sitting here like, you're just sitting there. Yes, Matthew, seriously. You are literally sitting in front of the computer going, are you kidding me? Are you like, y'all, I have been talking to the computer like it's probably like a ball game. I'm not a sports fan. I don't watch sports, but I've seen people how they do. That's me watching this trial, okay? It's basically what she did when it was her turn to start calling her witnesses. She has focused on that sex offender pretty much the whole time. She keeps bringing his name up. But it's gone nowhere. That man got on the stand and told the truth. He said, yes, he had rape convictions. Yes, he had pornography on his computer. But he said, sober or high, he would never kill anybody. I believed him. I mean, he's a scary man, but I believed him. He didn't get up there and lie. Matter of fact, some of the most honest ones were the ones that had been in prison or were in prison. The first person that I noticed that got up there and lied, I noticed it immediately, was Shane Austin's mother. Bless her heart, I know her son killed himself, and I know she did not want him to leave this world thinking her son was a rapist and a murderer. But she lied on purpose. I mean, she did. And she even got mad at the defense. She got mad at the prosecution. And prosecution wanted to know if she had gotten him a lawyer. And she said, yes, I got him a lawyer in August of, 2014. And the prosecution said, well, I didn't ask you when. I just need a yes or no. Did you get him a lawyer? And she's like, well, that's too bad. And, the state's like, oh, that's too bad? And she's like, yeah. I mean, y'all, it's like, Oh my gosh, if you haven't watched any coverage, y'all, I'm going to get this light closer here. I don't know if this will help in any way. Maybe it will. If you haven't watched, I actually go to, if you Google it, Holly Bobo, Gavel to Gavel. It's called News Channel 5, and it's actually Nick Barris covering it. And in between, like when they have breaks in lunch, him and another man named Nick, they take phone calls from people and they kind of discuss the trial. Okay, what's going on like right then, or that current day. And to me, he has the best coverage for the trial. And you do have to live stream it. But it's, to me, Shane Austin's mama was the first one that was obvious, very obvious. She was lying and withholding information that could have helped. And y'all, what I don't understand, how can you go to sleep at night, lay your head down, knowing that you got on that stand to try to set a killer free? How do you sleep at night? I couldn't sleep. I don't care if it's my son. If he did it, he did it. He needs to be put away, okay? He doesn't need to be out, period. So how can you get up there to help him and sleep at night? I don't think anybody knew she had been cut up. I don't think, I didn't know that, and I followed the whole time. But, you know, I kind of maybe assumed it. But anyway, that was very sad. That was very, very sad. I'm just happy that they finally did find her body. So, I don't know. That's kind of my take on it, y'all. I mean, if you want to leave some comments, you know, or questions. I don't mind answering questions for what I know. I mean, I have followed it. It's, you know, up at my place at the Tennessee River, it's always been signs, you know, find Holly, rewards for Holly. Then after they found Holly, it was, you know, justice for Holly. So, I don't know. I've just been around it a lot. And, you know, when you have a daughter close to that age, it affects you. I don't really care, you know, even if you don't have a daughter close in age, if you have any kids, y'all, I mean, there wasn't really a motive. They didn't even really know each other. I mean, there's not been a question answered of really why it happened. Like, as far as what made them, was they riding around, did they plan it? You know, I mean, that really has never been clear to me. Other than the Natalie, her cousin, comes into play, which supposedly was talking about Holly to Zach. I think I'm lying to him myself. But there wasn't a real true connection there, I don't believe. I just think they got high and they said, hey. And it just kind of, you know, like they did it because they wanted to. And the things he said, like, you know, he couldn't have picked a prettier bitch. It was so fun. I mean, y'all, I sat in the courtroom with him. I am watching him. He is 20 feet away from me, maybe 15. I mean, you don't think when you hear things like that, when you're sitting in the courtroom, like, how does his daddy, I mean, her daddy, not get up and seriously attack that man? Like, I couldn't sit in there and listen to that if it was my daughter. It was hard enough for me to listen to it with Holly. So, I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I mean, I've watched it, and I mean, like, I could literally sit here all day and tell you about all these people and what they've testified to, and they have had all this, they've had the cell phone experts, the gun ballistic experts, you know, the size of the hole in her skull, and they've explained all of that. And the gun that they did find, that supposedly the murder weapon could leave that size hole. It can actually, a bullet can leave any bullet. It can leave a certain size hole. It's not going to be a specific size. In other words, it's a range. So it might be from this centimeter. This bullet can leave from this centimeter to this centimeter size bullet in the skull. Okay. They said, could this gun produce this size hole in a skull? And of course he said yes, because he gave the range of the size hole this bullet could leave. Okay, it wasn't bigger than the hole. It was actually a little smaller. So that fit perfect, fit perfectly. It wasn't a question of was it, bigger. So the exit. Well, Matthew, I think what the entry wound, they were trying to say, well, it's not the exact size of the bullet. Well, it doesn't have to be the exact size of the bullet. It can actually be a tad bigger, because of pressure and force and things like that. And then he explained how the tissues inside the brain will expand, because she had a bullet hole, but then she also had a fracture going up from that hole and down from that hole from the pressure in her brain. And he explained all that. It made perfect sense, and it showed where it came out. And they actually think that's why her lower jaw was found separate, because laying out in the elements over time, things are going to happen. But they actually think maybe her jaw was shot off. Okay, so that's what I originally thought too. But I also thought they probably moved the body. And I'm still not sure they didn't move the body. That's my opinion. So anyway, to sit and listen to this all from your daughter or any child, even not even knowing them, it is horrific. This was horrific, y'all. I mean, you just think about it. I mean, they got her and they shot her up with morphine or whatever. They take her out to this barn. Supposedly 3 of them raped her. They said within an hour and a half she was dead. An hour and a half. Now, y'all heard on TV how that first 24 hours is so important, but they actually say every hour counts. If you can find them in the first hour, you can almost always find them alive. That would have been true for Holly. So when they say every hour, every minute counts, this is the epitome of an example of that. Because if they had surrounded the roads there right when they were called, I truly believe they would have been found. She would have been found within time. So she was wrapped up in a quilt. She's actually wrapped up in a quilt, y'all, in the back of a truck. They even take this truck before they go to gut her and dump her to go get more drugs. They are riding around with this child wrapped up in the back of a pickup truck, y'all. I don't know who that is. Somebody needs to get Manny Rosenberg off of my channel. Please. I would appreciate that very much. Because I don't have that kind of talk on my channel. Manny. Let me just remove you. So, they are riding around with this child in the back of their truck, y'all. They think she's dead. She's not. And it's just so many twists and turns, and there's so many opinions. There are actually still people that think he's innocent. There are still people, because there's no DNA, think he's innocent. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. Years ago, before DNA existed in the courtroom, before it was where it's at now, how do y'all think they convicted people? And I understand there were some people that were convicted that were innocent. I understand that. A lot more so probably than today. But y'all, we haven't not always had DNA. Sometimes there's something you call common sense that you use. You use your common sense, okay? This story is adding up with this story. I think he's lying. I think she's lying. You can put things together. You don't have to have DNA to prove somebody did something. There can be enough facts pointing to that person that clearly, without a doubt, they were involved and did something. Manny says he is sorry. I took that down, so I don't know. I took that down. Yeah, we don't have that kind of talk on my channel. No, I will not have that. If my friend Lee had already been there, she would have shut him down, but she just came on. Hey, Lee. But he apologized, so okay, we'll go there. We'll be okay with him. So, okay, y'all, they're riding around with her body in the back to go get more drugs. I mean, how long did they ride around with her in the back of the truck? Because Jason said, I gotta go. I gotta go meet my girlfriend for lunch. So you're gonna have to drop me off. He said he's just trying to get out of the situation. So he drops Jason off with Holly still in the back of the truck. How long did he ride around with her, y'all? I mean, there are no words. Like, she's nothing. Like, I don't know. I get mad about it, y'all. I get mad about it. I've been yelling at the computer screen all week, and mostly that lawyer that I think has no sense. But, if I had access to the man who rode my daughter around in the back of the truck wrapped up in a blanket, I can't say on here because YouTube probably shut me down. Okay, Matthew, I'll look into that. Thank you. Anyway, y'all, I don't know. If you're not following it, you know, I don't mind answering any questions. I've literally watched just about every second of every day. When I was in the courtroom last Monday, to me it was the saddest day. I didn't know her mom and daddy and brother were going to testify that day. You know, her mama passed out while she was up there. It was just sad. I don't even know how she got up there. I probably couldn't even have got up there. But then they've sat and listened and watched. They've watched all these pictures. They've watched their daughter's pictures, skull and bones be put up on an overhead screen. I could not do that. I could not do that. No. So, my hat's off to them for being able to sit in there, y'all. Anyway, tomorrow is supposed to be, it's going to be day 9. Yeah, day 9. They're saying they should finish up with the witnesses tomorrow. I don't know if they'll get to closing testimony from the lawyers, because I can tell y'all I was there for the opening statements on last Monday, and it was long. I think each side was up there for at least an hour for opening statements. Closing statements, they're going to be there to try, that's the last chance they got to try to convince that jury that he's not guilty, or he is guilty. And you don't think they're going to be up there over an hour? You're wrong. They're going to be up there probably well over an hour. So I don't look for them to totally get done tomorrow. They might. And then, of course, deliberations begin. So cross your fingers that they get done tomorrow and everything. If you're following this story and you've been watching it, please feel free to comment and give me any information. There's a lot of questions in this case, and it's like the prosecutor said on day 1: we will never know the full story of what happened to Holly. We will never know, not unless Zach Adams tells it. You think that's going to happen? No, it's not going to happen. Oh, there's a train coming. Anyway, y'all, I don't know. This story is just close to my heart. I'm sorry if I bored y'all with it. And if you're tired of me having videos up about it, but it is just something that is close to my heart and that I have followed since day one. And I just feel very strongly about it. And I want to see this family get justice for their daughter. And I would want the same for anybody, just like, the Natalie Holloway case. I mean, her family really hasn't gotten any justice. And I just read up and tried to get updated if the remains they supposedly found were hers, and what they are claiming they did with her bones was, it's horrible. So still kind of waiting on confirmation on the Natalie Holloway too, and I don't think they really know yet. But anyway, this is just something that a lot of people have on my. I have 2 Holly Bobo videos, and on my first one I did about 5 months ago, like all of a sudden I've gotten all these views on it and tons of comments and tons of questions. So several people were wanting me to come back on and discuss it, and so I said I would. And I don't know if I answered what you were looking for, if I didn't. And I'll probably come back on again. I might even come back on tomorrow. I don't know. But if I didn't answer any questions or talk about what you wanted, feel free to leave me questions and comments about whatever. I'll try to answer. If it's about the trial, I pretty much should know. I'll try to answer the best I can, okay? And so I just wanted to kind of come on here and give you an update. And I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing about it. It's just it's something I'm passionate about, and I have been since 2011. So y'all let me know what you think. If you hadn't watched it and you have some free time tomorrow, Nick Barris, it's called newschannel5.com. It's out of Nashville. But if you Google gavel to gavel Holly Bobo trial, his will come up. And when it comes up, if it's during the trial times, it'll be a red bar at the top that you can click on that will take you there, and it's all live. And in the 15-minute breaks and the lunch break, he is discussing the case, and he actually lets people call in to ask him questions. And he has done a wonderful, wonderful job of covering the story, trying to look at it from both sides, and he's great. I really like him. So just don't forget. Okay, Matthew, I will really try. I don't know what I did wrong the first time. I really just think it was a bad connection, because that's never happened before. But I'm glad you were on there to help me to get it straight. So, okay, so tomorrow's day 9 of the trial. Hopefully it will be the last day. Not sure if we'll get to closing comments. But if we do, deliberations will start with the jury. If we don't, I'm assuming closing comments will be Thursday, and then deliberations will begin then. I don't look for Zach Adams to testify. I don't look for Dylan Adams to testify. So, there you go. Y'all let me know if you have any questions, and I appreciate all of you being on here, those of you who were on here live with me. And if you watch after it is live, I appreciate you coming on here to watch it. And I hope you will subscribe to me. All of my videos are not going to be about Holly. They're pretty much just about my life, what I'm doing, and what I'm passionate about. So this is just one of them. But I appreciate y'all being on here with me. And we will see you next time. And if I have time, I'll come on tomorrow and update you and let you know if it ended and what's happening. Because we are right at the end of the trial. But you can get on YouTube, y'all. You can get on YouTube and watch the whole thing. It'll say day 1, part 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. You can watch any part of it. The whole trial is on YouTube. All you got to do is get on YouTube and go to search. It's all in there, okay? So I really, really appreciate you, Matthew, for helping me get going with my volume and everything, and for watching, and for all of y'all watching, and for those of y'all that will come in and watch later. Thank y'all. Let me know if you have any comments, and if you have any information for me. I'd love to have new information on it. See y'all later.